To cover the basics of Android development by building a high world application, and then we will be testing our app on the emulator and on our own actual device. And finally, we will download and install the Genymotion, an alternative for Android Studio emulator. So if you don't want to actually use the emulator that comes with the Android Studio, you just need to actually download and install the Genymotion and then test your own applications on Genymotion. Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna go ahead and create our first Android application, the Hi World app. So we need to just open the Android Studio, and then it's gonna open the IDE for us. And by the way, IDE stands for Integrated Development Kit. It's like a word processor, but with a lot of more features and more complex than a regular word processor. Okay, and first we need to click on the Start a New Android Studio Project. And for the application name, just type in Hi World. Hi World. For the company domain, Google suggests that you type in your company domain or your own domain, but if you don't have any domain at all, it's okay. Just type in yourname.com. But for the package name, which is the reversed version of the company domain plus the application name, this must be a unique identifier of your specific application in the Google Play Store, because finally, when you want to actually upload your application to the Google Play Store, you need to have a unique identifier of your specific application, and that unique identifier is your package name. So I suggest that you click on the edit here and type in a more specific package name that is not used by anyone else in the world, and click on done. And for the project location, the default path is okay for me, but if you want to actually change the default path of the project location, you just need to click on this button and change it here and click on OK. Then click on next. Okay, now it's going to ask you some questions about the minimum SDK and whether you want to create applications for wearable devices, Android TV, Android automobiles, or even Google Glasses. So first, let me point out that in this course, we just want to focus on creating Java applications and creating Android applications for phones and tablets. We're not gonna actually cover creating applications for wearable devices like smartwatches or Android TV, Android automobiles, or even Google Glasses. In the future, I will create an additional course for creating applications for these other devices, okay? And let's focus on the minimum SDK. So what is SDK? SDK stands for Software Development Kit. And the minimum SDK for my application, as you can see, it is an API 1 Android 1.0. So what this means? It means that this is the version of the Android software of the Android operating system, okay, Android 1.0. And this is going to be the minimum version that your application is going to run, okay? For example, if I choose Android 2.2 Froyo for my minimum SDK, and if someone runs Android 1.0 in his or her own Android device, he cannot even download and install my application, because the minimum SDK for my application is Android 2.2 Froyo, okay? So let's read these lines. Lower API levels target more devices, but have fewer features available, okay? By targeting API 8, as I chose the API 8, Android 2.2, by targeting API 8 and later, your app will run on approximately 100% of the devices that are active on the Google Play Store. So it means that everyone that can run our application in his or her device. But in this way, fewer features are available for us, unfortunately. But if we choose API 16, we are targeting 94.8% of the devices that are active on the Google Play Store. Okay, it's great. This number is great, and we have a lot more features available for us. Okay, we can create awesome, great looking applications and upload it to the Google Play Store if you choose API 16, and I strongly recommend that you choose API 16 as your minimum SDK. Okay, so let's click on the next. Now, as you can see, these are the different types of projects that you can actually create. These are just templates for getting you started. We're gonna choose blank activity template for our Hi World application. But as I said, these are just templates, and you can then easily override them. We've got blank activity, no activity, actually empty activity, full screen activity, Google Ads activity, Google Maps activity, login activity, and others, which we will be covering later in the course. For this application, we just want to use the blank activity and click on next. Okay, now it's gonna ask us some questions about the activity, layout, title, and menu resource name. For this application, you don't need to actually change anything because you're not really familiar with the concepts of activities, layouts, or menu resources. Later in the course, you will be more familiar with these concepts. So for this application, just don't change anything and click on finish. And as you can see, it's gonna actually configure and set up the project for us. And by the way, if it's the first time that you're actually creating an Android application with the Android Studio, it may take some time because it may download some contents or check for the latest versions of code. So be sure to actually wait a little time. And then let me zoom out a little bit for you so that you can actually see the layout easily. Okay, now click on this arrow here and change the Android to project. Okay, and now let me close this and then open it again so that you can see what's going on. And open this arrow here and open the app folder and src and then main. These are the two important actually folders for our application. This is the Java, which you will be more familiar later, but not now. And this is the res, which we are going to work on in this application. First, open this arrow to open the layout folder. And as you can see, these are the two XML files. The differences between these two will be more explained in the next tutorial. But here you just need to click on the content main.xml, just double click on it. And here is the representation of this file. Okay, here on the screen you can actually drag in some components, as you can see here, into the screen and change some attributes here. For example, if I click on this hello world and click on delete on my keyboard and drag in a large text view, for example, into the screen, onto the center of the screen, and for example, and if I want to change the text of this actually text view, I need to click on this text view and look for the text attribute. Okay, as you can see, this is the text attribute for this component. I can change it to Hi World. Great. Now our application is ready to be launched. I end this video now. In the next video and in the next tutorial, we're going to actually run our application on a virtual device. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.